Scoreboard gamers! Yeah!
Dude, that's fucking hilarious.
Welcome to another podcast with ScoreBoard Gaming. We're the ScoreBoard Gamers. I'm Joshua.
I'm Mitchell.
What? No. We're starting this one. We're starting this one smiling, and we're smiling because we're gonna be bringing it back down to earth. Because we're gonna be talking about why do we game? Why have we been gaming for so long? And why do we continue gaming? Why will we continue to game? And why will Evan up dead in a ditch in 5 years' time?
So I'm gonna start this off. I'm a chronic masturbator. As long as I have a controller in my hand, I stop jerking it.
I use the vibrations.
There's no actual vibration controller. Mitchell is just a fucking pedophile.
No.
Well, I think I can speak personally. I've been gaming for years and years, and if you were listening to the last podcast, I mentioned that the 360 is when I started getting into the real serious online, going for every achievement, beating the game 100%. And what about you guys? Like, what console or what game really started for you your gaming?
For me, I would agree the 360 was definitely the starting point for like competitive online. Like the 360 was the first console in which I was like immersed in video gaming. And I think the first game I really got attached to, both like campaign and online-wise, would probably be Halo 3. It just gave me that competitive nature, and just so much stuff with the game and the lore just really drew me in. So that would be the game for me, I would say.
For me, it had to be like my original Game Boy Color. It wasn't even the competitive gaming that drew me into like gaming. It's like more or less like developing my character, following the story, having an experience, and just being part of it myself rather than watching it.
Yeah.
You made me sound like a douche. I'm just joking. I'm just
You are a douche.
No, for sure.
No, but I think, we go back like way further than that for gaming. But I say, in the last like 10 years, we really gotten into it more and more. And of course, with newer consoles, we were talking about this. It's just a way to connect with others, right?
Yeah.
Online gameplay. You have their microphone and stuff set up. Halo 3 was just so much fun, especially like on Forge and all those other like types of things.
Yeah,
custom
my
games.
God.
Yeah.
I always think back to like Valhalla, taking the fucking
Yes.
nooses across the fucking grav lifts.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, I remember my brother, when we both had the 360 core, the one with no hard drive. So we were like poor. It's like we were poor kids, and like I remember he rented Halo 3 one time, and me and my friend Jordan, who was in that podcast a few podcasts ago, we were just playing, like, we had no live either conference, like we were like welfare, and, like, so we're just like we were just literally just like riding the mongooses from like point
Actually,
to
I think
point.
it's mongoose. I fucked up. I'm sorry.
Oh, I don't know, whatever. No, but we're just riding them, riding them across Valhalla, hitting the jump in the very middle, riding the river bank in between, and it was just like so fun.
Was the river red?
But it's just like memories like that, man. That really just last.
For sure, and back then it was the types of games that we played that got us into it, and I think gaming is just a way to really immerse yourself in story. Movies and books do, they definitely can draw you in, but the games include you. You are the main character, right? So speaking for myself, my favorite campaigns were Fable. Evan's gonna laugh at this when I say Peter Molyneux from Lionhead Studios. He say, "I want you to feel loved," when he's describing how the dog mechanics worked.
He definitely, man, like, as crazy as he seems, though. I would totally agree with you too. Both Fable 1 and 2 are one of my favorite, and I'm like, the RPG games are my favorite. I would say my favorite genre of video games, and Fable 1 and 2 definitely, like, just like Halo 3 and everything, just made memories to last a lifetime. They were beautiful games.
Yeah, and Mitchell and I played like all the old Final Fantasy games.
Yeah, the Final Fantasy games were definitely the one big game that always drew me in. Like, no matter how far apart like the games were released, I'm just like, new Final Fantasy, get it fucking day one, no matter what.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people out there would say Final Fantasy goes way back for them because like the series has been around for ages now.
The only way I knew about it was like my brothers. I remember my brothers and my cousins would all gather in the basement and like fucking. They tried to no-life Final Fantasy VII over like the course of 3 weeks.
Yeah, it's and like those games, like you go back, it's just a story. There's so much to the game. You know, like when you look at some of the older games like Final Fantasy or even Fable, you could pour hours into it and just do whatever, right?
Yep.
So it's games like that, and I never got into World of Warcraft. I don't think either of you guys played too much World of Warcraft, did you?
Not myself, no.
No.
I dabbled in it once in a while, but I got annoyed with it.
Yeah, and it's like I guess like we weren't really like old enough to I guess appreciate it when it first came out back in 2004, I believe. So I never got into it too much either myself, but it's things like that. I enjoyed it just for the simple fact that there was just so much to do in the game. There's so much dialogue and so many items, so many places, so many characters, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and I mean, like I can talk all I want about being immersed and stuff, but you guys, do you have any like favorite games that you found yourselves immersed in and you just felt, you know, like this game is just like absolutely amazing, just how much there is to it? And
ooh. I'll butt. Sorry. I'll just say this. If I could choose one from all the games I have played so far in my life that I've got the most immersed and it's drooly over, it would probably be Elder Scrolls for Oblivion would be the one for me.
Mm.
I have two. I fell in love and just nearly fucking no-lifed to the point of like I was playing it for like every day, every evening till I woke up and then I went to bed. I was playing like Paper Mario, the N64, and I was just like, oh, this game is so great, and I was like, I want all the items, I want to fucking do all the side missions. And then the next game after that, I think it had to be like Final Fantasy X was the one that I actually like was so absorbed in that I was like spending like up till 3 and 4 in the morning playing it, trying to fucking grind to get my characters leveled up.
Yeah. I'm just getting back into that now, and I understand what you're talking about when you're saying that. Yeah, it's like I said, going back to Final Fantasy, they have like so much in the games, but I never got too much into Oblivion, Evan.
Yeah. Well, a lot of it's definitely like, especially like when you're, I mean, obviously everyone knows not graphics and shit like aren't everything at all, but especially when you're playing newer Elder Scrolls games now, there aren't too many more newer ones since Oblivion, but and you're just, if you're going to try and dive it back into a current day, you're just like, I'm going to just play a newer one, but I know it's kind of hit or miss, I guess, at the time, because it needs a lot of commitment, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure, and going back, I mean, it's just a game that you played when you were younger, so you probably have a stronger connection to it than I would or something, right? So,
oh, yeah. No, for sure.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have played Oblivion if it wasn't for Evan. Evan loaned it to me, and I fucking played it. I was like, yes, a game with no spiders, no fucking...
Yeah, you got a break. I think it's the kind of games that keep us up till 4 or 5 in the morning grinding, like Mitchell says. That are the kind of games that last, you know.
Yeah, and it's so... your parents never understood it. And I don't get me wrong, like, when I look back, I say, like, I probably didn't need to stay up that late, but when you're so into something, I mean... If you're not doing like a normal, I don't want to say normal because I think gaming's actually like perfectly normal, but older generations, they look at gaming, they don't see the same as like, you know, say woodworking or, you know, writing a book. I'm listing off things that are actually like very productive hobbies that are not good examples.
Here's a better example. Reading a book. That's
yeah, you know, like that's still actually lots of skills. No, but yeah, like gaming is just has a lot, and when you look back, it's just like, man, I wish I could commit to something like that nowadays. Like I find it so hard to get into something. I'm like, I wish I could have that fucking passion.
I don't give my girlfriend as much attention as I gave Final Fantasy X in like the first fucking 4 weeks I owned it.
Yeah, you know, you think back, you think it's kind of silly, but at the same time, you have to respect your younger self for being so passionate about something that you give up your time, your sleep, and your everything for.
it's a testament of manhood. That's for sure.
Passage of manhood.
But no, like, even talking about the old games, I think back to the old games. I'm like, what made me so addicted to them? And like new games that are coming out nowadays, it's just like, oh, there's something missing. There's just nothing there to hook me anymore, right?
That's the thing. I was literally thinking about that. Me and Mitchell have had like ups and downs in our emotions when it comes to games the past year or two. Where me and Mitchell, like you can ask, Mitchell can agree. Like we would just be hanging out talking about, oh yeah, this game's coming out, and we'll play it like that when it comes out, and we'll just think like, just this isn't hooking me, man. Like, and I would literally get into like a period of like almost depression where I'm just like, shit, am I like growing out of video games? And it actually like scared me, the fact that thinking about that, because I mean I love video games, but the fact that that's not true at all, because I'm still playing video games to this day and loving it. It's just that I feel like there's just a lot of those components, like Mitchell said, from the games that we so adored as children that are just missing in games nowadays. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I found even games like Fallout 4 and The Witcher, two great games, and I know a lot of people out there getting great reviews. Even you guys played them both and thought they were amazing, but there's something about those two that did not. Yeah, they did not hook me. Like even Dishonored hooked me right away, but not the other for some reason.
Even Evan had to put down Witcher, and he was hard fanboy in that game.
Yeah, and even with there's definitely some stuff about Witcher didn't hook me as well, but I did love it, to be honest. But it didn't have all those things. But with Fallout, I mean, like you like Josh agrees. I don't know if Mitchell is as big as a Fallout fan as me and Josh were with the previous ones. I'm not too sure.
You guys
but
got me into them.
Yeah, we got you into them because me and Josh were hard into them. I remember me and Josh always talked about New Vegas and 3 and just the creepy quests and stuff. Yeah. And I put 6 hours into Fallout 4 so far.
Yeah, I think I put like 8. And then put it down.
It's like it's sad. Like it's not a shitty game. It's just like, man, what the fuck happened? You know what I mean?
I know this is not well. It's kind of related. Evan, you gotta tell them about the time you went to pick up New Vegas.
Oh yeah, no, it was weird. It was like the only occurrence that ever happened in a video game. I'm like, I remember here New Vegas comes out, and I go to the local video game like electronic shop in town here, and I just pick up New Vegas. I'm like, oh yeah, I think I was so young I used like a gift card from like Christmas or something. So come home, I'm all pumped. I'm just like, as soon as I get home, I grab the scissors, take the plastic wrap off, just brand new case, pop it open, just like no fucking disc there. It was like the biggest troll. It was almost like I was waiting for like just like a shit to be in there. You know what I mean? Oh, you. But oh yeah, it was just I mean, I just called up and they're just like, oh, that's weird. Bring it in and get you a new one. It was a mistake, I guess, obviously, but it was just like the most like you're so waiting so long for it. You're so excited for a game, and like you to open it, it almost just made me want to like.
I can picture you freaking out, be like, no,
this can't be true.
Yeah, that's definitely a letdown, or like having a game that's cracked or he's messed up in some way.
Yeah, but for what it was worth, no, this New Vegas proved to be a good game. It was a really good game.
It was basically Fallout 3, but to be honest with you, I found a better setting. Like
I'd agree. I did like the Mojave and all that stuff just more. Yeah, I liked it more than the Capital Wasteland. Yeah.
There's definitely a lot of good stuff to Fallout 3 for sure too there. But yeah, even what we were going back to what we were talking before, just 4 for some reason doesn't have the. I haven't played it in the last probably month because of other games I've been playing and being a little busy. But yeah, I'm gonna have to play it again and see if I can get back into it like when I first got it for my birthday there.
Even the new Metal Gear, I'm hard into the Metal Gear series, and I actually put that game down for 2.5, 3 months, and beat it last week, and I was just like, it's done, I guess.
Yeah, you're on like a hiatus there.
Yeah.
You know what? I think the big thing is like every game is going for open world, lots and lots to do, because you know what? They are able to do it now and keep the graphics up. They are able to do that big world, open world, and keep the graphics they want. And I think the hardest thing for open world is that there's so much to do, it's overwhelming. And then when it's overwhelming, it's too hard to... Yeah.
And then if you go back to these linear stories where it's all character development, you're just going to be like, well, something's still missing. Like, what else do I do?
But I mean, I've been playing like Dishonored like crazy, and I think I figured out there's a little bit of freedom in there. Like you're able to go certain ways, do certain things, like you're able to make some choices in the matter. But for the most part, it's pretty straightforward linear quests, right? missions. So
keeps your attention and everything. You're not,
yeah, there's like your focus is there, and there's nothing else. So it kind of helps you get through the game. And maybe for me, open world is great, but at the same time, it deters me because it's overwhelming, and I just want something simple.
We're always playing.
Yeah.
We're always playing the same kind of fucking game, right?
Yeah. So I think that's one of the biggest problems. But at the same time, like, I don't blame game developers for doing it because it's a great idea to hook people and keep them busy on the game for hours and hours, right?
It's what's been popular lately, right? You got to go with it, or you're gonna fucking sink.
Yeah. So I like, and that's why we're doing the gaming podcast now, is because I felt like Evan was saying with the almost being depressed because I'm like, am I a gamer anymore? Do I even like gaming anymore? Because
adult.
Yeah, and with doing these podcasts and stuff, it made me realize that, you know what, no, I still love gaming. It's just maybe I have to find the right games out there to keep me going, right?
That's exactly what it is.
Grandpa's Dirty Diary 4.
But thank you guys for joining us for this very heartfelt podcast today. We felt like slowing it down a bit.
Slowing it down like my bells.
But after this podcast, no more pussy shit.
We're big men. We're big men around here.
Oh god.
But thank you guys for joining us. We had fun talking about what we talked about. We're the Scoreboard Gamers. I'm Joshua.
Yeah, I'm Mitchell.
And I'm Evan.